Welcome back. This is episode 4 of a 7-part series examining Ontario's proposed modernization of the Private Security and Investigative Service Act, or PSISA. In this episode, we're focusing on enforcement powers, specifically what authority the registry should have, how enforcement should work in practice, and why expanded enforcement must be paired with proportionality, clarity, and safeguards. Because enforcement is where regulation moves from policy into day-to-day reality. Any regulatory framework is only as credible as its enforcement. Too little enforcement and bad actors operate without any consequences. Too much or poorly designed enforcement and you risk fear, inconsistency, and unintended harm to the industry. Effective enforcement should do 3 things. It should protect public safety, it should hold bad actors accountable, and it should treat compliant licensees fairly. If it fails at any one of these, the system loses trust. As part of the PSISA modernization, the ministry is examining whether the registry should be granted expanded enforcement authority, including the ability to administer penalties, expanded use of orders, suspensions, or license conditions, more flexible tools that sit between education and prosecution, and finally, faster response to emerging risks. At a high level, these proposals are understandable and even welcome. The current framework relies highly on either voluntary compliance or formal prosecution with very limited middle ground. From a public safety perspective, some of the expansion of the enforcement tools is reasonable. There are circumstances where immediate action is required, or there ongoing risks exist, or waiting for a prosecution or review is not appropriate. This can include operating without a valid license, repeated non-compliance after multiple warnings, clear safety-related violations. Intermediate enforcement tools can allow regulators to act more quickly and more precisely and more decisively when it's needed the most. At the same time, expanded enforcement without safeguard carries risk. These risks include inconsistent application, disproportional penalties for minor or technical issues, decisions driven by optics rather than risk, or fear-based compliance instead of professional standards. Frontline security work is complex and situational. Enforcement decisions made without operational context risk penalizing compliant professionals for circumstances beyond their control. Any expansion of enforcement authority must be proportional. That means a clear threshold for different enforcement actions, a distinction between administrative issues and safety critical violations, graduated responses rather than automatic penalties. A paperwork error should not be treated the same as reckless conduct. Context must always matter. That point cannot be overstated. Enforcement decisions must involve individuals with frontline security experience. Without their perspective, regulators risk misinterpreting incidents, applying unrealistic expectation, or judging split-second decisions with hindsight. If enforcement authority is expanded, the expertise reviewing these decisions must expand as well. Expanded authority must be accompanied by transparency. This includes clear written reasons for enforcement decisions, defined criteria for penalties and conditions, meaningful appeal mechanisms, and timely review process. In other words, we need to manage the expectations. Licensees should never feel that enforcement is arbitrary, personal, or unchallengeable. Trust depends on transparency. The purpose of enforcement is not to punish alone. It should correct unsafe practices, remove genuinely unfit actors from our industry, reinforce professionalism, and improve public safety outcomes. Enforcement that only creates fear does not raise the standard. It suppresses reporting, learning, and the public perception of the private security industry. Expanded enforcement can improve public safety, and we support it. but only when paired with proportional operational experience, transparency, and safeguards. Without those, enforcement's risk becoming blunt, where precision is required. That is the end of video 4. We will be looking in episode 5 at licensing, training, and professional standards, and why raising the bar only works when training reflects real-world duties and risks. As a reminder, the window to submit comments to the Minister is January 21st, 2026. It is very important that our voices are heard, that the frontline weighs in on this, because we are the ones that are going to be dealing with the decisions made for many years to come. We invite you to provide your comments to us, and we'll include it in our submission, or submit them on your own. But either way, the voices need to be heard. Thank you very much, and everybody stay safe out there.